Hello everyone. PPX, can you please let me know once all the role players are here and we can start?
I'll let you know in a bit. For now,
Sure,
we're
sure.
still waiting.
There's a last
Okay,
minute back out actually from our side.
okay,
I think it's the
okay,
evaluator 2, 3. So we are
okay.
waiting for it.
Sure, sure. All right.
G, can you please note that there is one change? The evaluator 3 is Pranav now, which is
All right.
Aditya's evaluator.
Okay.
Yeah, I think apart from him, we're good to go from Sol's end. Somni, can you check if all the role players from VTC are here?
Yes, Hinal, they are here. We can go.
All right, so I think if everyone's ready, we can start. Good evening, members of SOL and VTC. I hope all of you are having a great day today. I would like to cordially welcome you all to the SOL VTC combined session. The first time we had a SOL VTC combined session was probably 1.5 years back when I was in my first XCOM role, and I have seen both clubs travel a really long way since then. And I'm so happy to be here as the presiding officer conducting yet another session with VTC. Before we begin, I would at this point request everyone in the audience to turn on their videos if they do not have any internet issues, because this goes a long way in encouraging every role player coming up on stage today. Without any further ado, I would like to declare SOL 172 and VTC 76 open. Over to our TMODs, Toastmaster Harish and Toastmaster Rithik. I'm sorry I missed out on the SA address, so I would actually like to call upon Toastmaster Afifa to lay down the ground rules for the session.
Am I audible and visible? Yeah, okay. That's that. Life is what happens when you're busy making other plans. When I heard this quote for the first time, I realized that even the roads we travel every single day has up and downs. These are our lives after all. If life were unpredictable, it could ease to be life, but be without flavor, right? You would never get the fruitful experience, the joy of failing, succeeding. And I think most of the problems in our lives because of two reasons. We act without thinking, or we might keep thinking without acting. So I another very good quote when I heard is, when you reach the end of your rope, tie a knot to it and hang on. But to learn how to tie a knot and hang on without giving up, let's learn in our today's session. I think this is the first session after the milestone session, so let's make it as successful as the last one. So to make it a bit more lively than it is now, I'll be giving a riddle question right now. So think throughout the session and answer me at the end of the session. So the riddle is, everyone wants more of it to feel special, yet the more you have of it, the less you feel. I'll repeat once again. Everyone wants more of it to feel special, yet the more you have of it, the less special you feel. This is the riddle. I hope everybody will think about it and answer me at the end of the session. So over to presiding officer or TM this.
Samsung का गरम और होते हैं 24/7 28 उसका 700 मिली है 500 मिली एम्पीयर का बैटरी
चिकन हाउस को जबरदस्ती क्यों फोर्स कर रहे हो नहीं चाहिए तो
I would now like to call upon our TMODs for today, Toastmaster Harish and Toastmaster Rithik. Over to you.
Oh man, these online classes, I just can't take it. I just don't want to do it again. These are not my passion. You know what my passion is? I want to do stand-up comedy or maybe machine learning. That's popular, but do I really enjoy it? Wait, Life Institute. What is life? What is the meaning of life? I'm overthinking. Let me just go and ask them. Excuse me, my name is Harish, and is this the Life Institute?
Hey Harish, it is. How are you feeling today?
I'm not feeling good. If I was feeling good, I wouldn't have come here. You see, I have a lot of problems and I need solutions right now. And I hope I've come to the right place.
Can't tell you about that, but we do help people solve jigsaw puzzles, you know.
What? A name like Life Institute and you help people solve jigsaw puzzles? Are you crazy?
A little bit, you'll see. But before, I would like you to meet some interesting people around this place.
Okay, you mean other crazy people who work with you?
I'm sure, Harish, you can crack better jokes. Let me introduce to you the director of this institute, general evaluator of today's session, Toastmaster Shraddha. Over to you, Shraddha.
Thank you so much, TM Harish. Once again, good evening to all of you. I'm the director of this Life Institute, and obviously, I want to make sure that our newest edition, Toastmaster Harish, has the best time possible. For that, I have my team to help you and every other role player coming up on stage today. So first off, I would like to call upon the timer today, who is in charge of scheduling and making sure all our events happen on time. Calling upon Toastmaster Anant Kumar. Over to you.
Namaskaram, our director as general VTC Toastmasters and welcome guest. Once Dr. Abdul Kalam said, life and time are the world's best teachers. Teachers has to make good use of time, and time teachers as the way. I will be maintaining the schedule of these events. I will support to our professors like speakers, HODs as evaluators, and table topic students. So I will allot a few times for them. Timing for professors 5 to 7 minutes. That time I will show green card at 5 minutes, yellow at 6 minutes, red at 7 minutes. Timing for TT students. I will show the timing green at 1 minute, yellow at 1.5 minutes, red at 2 minutes. Timing for HODs, that is our evaluators, 2 to 3 minutes. I will show green at 2 minutes, yellow at 2.5 minutes, red at 3 minutes. Everyone has buffering time of 30 seconds before and after their speeches. At the end of this session, I will submit my report to our director. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anant Kumar. Moving on, we have the accounter for today, who's the accountant at our Life Institute. Calling upon Toastmaster Surya. Over to you.
Good afternoon to all the Toastmasters and guests. If you want to join this institute, then the person you're looking for is me, and you can come to me with your fees to get an appointment. I am the accountant of this institute, and I'll be closely supervising your payments, which should be regular. As I am the accountant for today, I'll be taking a note of all the filler words such as like, but, well, and so on. Repetition of words is also considered as filler words. Hence, whenever you feel to use a filler word, take a step back and refrain from speaking anything. Take a small pause to recollect your thoughts. I'll be presenting my report at the end of the session. Thank you. Over to the GE.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Surya. And finally, I would like to call upon our grammarian for today, or the curriculum specialist here at Life Institute, Toastmaster Soumya. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. What is an institute of courses without a curriculum? Especially in a life institute where pupils enroll in an attempt to set things in order. As your curriculum specialist or grammarian, it is my responsibility to check how clean your speeches are. I should make note of the brilliant usage of the English language, the usages that require corrections, and the mispronunciations. All curriculums for all courses have been rolled out, but there's one common thing that I request every one of you to implement in your speeches. The word of the day, or today I'd like to call it the phrase of the day. Before I reveal it, let me see if you could guess it. The meaning of this phrase is to have everything in perfect order, when everything has been neatly arranged and are in proper place. It's a three-word phrase. The first word is a very, very common fruit. The second is a popular dessert. And if you put the first two words together, it's again a very popular dessert. It's all right if you can guess the first two words. I'll help you with the third. Can anybody guess it? The first word is a very common fruit, very, very common fruit. The second is also a popular dessert. And if you put the first two things together, it's again a very popular dessert. It means to have everything in place and order. You can try, anybody can try. Nobody?
Is it apple?
Cherry on top.
Yeah, it's apple. It's apple. So which dessert has apple in the front? It starts with apple.
Apple pie?
Yeah, that's correct. So the phrase of today is apple pie order. But it's so weird, right? So, but it has an origin. So let me read out the origin for you. People believe that it was a colonial housewife living in New England who made the idiom very popular. The story goes that this lady was in the habit of baking 7 apple pies every Sunday, 1 pie for every day of the coming week. Once the pies had been baked and cooled, she proceeded to place them on different shelves. The pie that was to be eaten on Monday was placed on the first shelf. The one that was to be eaten on Tuesday was to be placed on the shelf next to it, and so on. The lady was so meticulous that she made sure that all pies were lined up just right. So I encourage you to use this phrase in your speeches. All the best to all speakers. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Somni. Now, as the general evaluator, it is my duty to evaluate everything that happens in the session today, including all the role players. However, I will not be evaluating the speakers since the evaluators will already be doing that. A few ground rules before we begin session. The first, again, I would like to reiterate, it would be great if everyone could turn on their videos. I see a very few videos on right now because this goes a really long way in encouraging all the role players coming up on stage today. And especially role players, do try to keep your videos on throughout the session. When you're not called upon to speak, please ensure you're on mute at all times. Do react either physically by clapping or showing the thumbs up for the word of the day or using the react buttons that are provided by Zoom. There will be a feedback form that will be posted in the general chat after each speaker. So do fill it out and give them feedback and any constructive criticism that you might have for their role. And do make sure that you don't use the general chat for any other purpose. In addition, we are so glad that we have a few guests here today as well. So to make sure that there is no confusion, I would like to ask everyone in the audience present either to rename themselves with their role or their club, or if you're not from any TMI club, then guest would suffice. And that would really help us. And last but not the least, it would be really great if we have active participation and volunteering for the table topic segment today. I've seen a trend where it increases during contests and then goes to an all-time low till next year, which is really not great. So I encourage everyone here, however experienced you might be, or if this is your first session, to give a try and enjoy the experience of impromptu speaking. Other than that, I have that is all for my ground rules, and I will be delivering my report at the end of the session. Over to the TM.
Thank you, director and team. So Harish, let's take a walk around the premises. I would like you to meet few more interesting people.
Oh God, no. Vellore is so hot, I don't want to come outside.
Hey, don't worry, man. When things get hot, you get hotter.
Ha ha ha. Very funny.
But you need to work on your jokes. Anyways, you were saying you have problems.
Ah, man, problems in abundance, you see. And you know what's funny? When I was a little kid, I always used to believe that I could do anything, and my outlook on life was so positive. But at this stage in my life, just feel that I can't even meet my own expectations, and I can't even crack good jokes.
Ah, I see. There is this story of a blind man and an elephant. 3 blind men meet and are asked to describe the elephant. The first one says that the elephant is long and skinny like a snake. The others laugh. The second man says that the elephant is like a trunk of a tree, round and thick. The others laugh. The third man says that they don't know what they are talking about. He describes the elephant as wide and circular like a disc.
Hold on. This doesn't make any sense because neither is an elephant long and skinny like a snake, or round and thick like a trunk of a tree, or wide like a circular disc.
Well, they were only seeing a part of the elephant, you know. The first man saw the trunk, so he thought that elephant was like a snake. The second only saw its legs, so he thought that elephant is, you know, like a trunk of a tree, round and thick. The third man only saw its ears, so he assumed the elephant to be wide and circular like a disc.
Coach, what does this have to do with any of my problems?
Don't you think, Harish, this is what we do when we see our problems? We never see them whole. We act like blind man and only see the part of the elephant. Sometimes we need to get a new perspective. We need to remove our blind glasses and try to see the problem as they are. When we see our problems like this, solving them becomes easy. On this note, I would like you to meet Toastmaster Pratik, who is giving a beautiful lecture. And it might just be the fresh start you might need to get going.
Definitely. Calling upon Toastmaster Pratik's evaluator, the HOD of his department, Toastmaster Darshini.
Thank you, TMODs. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. Our professor, Toastmaster Pratik, is our first speaker and will be delivering his Level 1, Project 2 under the Pathway Innovative Planning. The purpose of this project is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The time limit of the speech is 5 to 7 minutes, and I will be evaluating on the clarity of his speech, vocal variety, eye contact, gestures, audience awareness, and comfort level. All the best, Toastmaster Pratik. Over to the Toastmasters of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Darshini. Toastmaster Pratik, can we have an audio and a video check before?
All right, am I audible and visible?
Yeah, you're audible and visible.
Okay,
Toastmaster.
I'm spotlighted as well?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Pratik, I was standing. I was standing, Toastmaster Pratik.
I was standing. I was standing right there. All eyes upon me. They were expecting me to perform. They were expecting me to act. And I had to live up to the expectations. It could be my only chance to prove myself. So I wanted to perform at my utmost capability and lead the stage with a thunderbolt. So I started. I stood over there and without having a second thought, delivered all that I had. And when I finished, it was that moment I was waiting for. It was that pause of 5 seconds that was decades to me. Because it was more than all the prosperity in the world, and I felt myself to be a stronger and more confident individual. Toastmasters, that was the moment my journey began. It's a common saying, people with great passion can make the impossible happen. The most powerful weapon on earth is the human soul on fire. And someday or the other, we all must have thought of conquering the world, reaching the heights, dreaming like no one is expecting anything. When truly, sky's the limit. Every great dream starts with a dreamer. And we all have within us the passion, the patience, the perseverance to reach for anything we want. But is all this true? Do we actually feel these quotations apply in the real life? Or it's only a temporary way of motivating ourselves? Even I had a dream. And more than that, I had this immortal desire to accomplish it. It was the year 2007 when I was forced onto the stage by my father. He knew that I had this childhood dream of being an actor, but he wanted me to realize how it feels on the stage. I was nervous. I was scared. Never ever had I faced so many people in my entire life. And now to perform an act in front of these many people was simply a nightmare. But I also knew that if I fail this time, I won't be able to make ever to my father's expectations. But more than that, I failed myself. So I stood over there, closed my eyes, took a deep breath, felt the character, and narrated every word with complete intensity and vigor that I could see that in the eyes of the people were in shock. They could have never imagined a 7-year-old to perform with such capability and acting skills. The people who used to mock me, who used to make fun of my stammering tongue, were there applauding me altogether. I could see that in my father's eyes. At least once I made him proud. That moment will be remembered in my life forever. But whatever I do, it's just the childhood. Pratik, it's the beginning. You have a lot much to see. It was the year 2017 when pressure starts really young and one is forced to choose a career for the future. All my life, I haven't thought of anything else but drama. This was the only thing that I wanted to do, and if I could find a way to earn a living out of it, I found my destiny. But the biggest obstacle was how? No, it was why. Why do you want to be an actor? What do you think of yourself? A small town boy with no connections try to be in an industry filled up with nepotism. There's no way that you're going to make it. Even my parents' attitude changed with time. They were expecting me to find a career, to earn a living, to handle the responsibilities, and most importantly, carry on the name and reputation of the family. I had no choice. At one place, I was looking myself as the biggest superstar of the film industry. And at the other place, it was me, a white collar man working in a corporate company to earn a living. What else could have I done? I chose the second one. Deep inside, I had this feeling that there might come a time when I would regret my decision. But I also knew that it's more practical and can be achieved. So sometimes it happens that we feel ourselves to be more sensible and experienced. But there are so many aspects to life that we have never acknowledged. We need to understand that more further. Toastmasters, passion is not a plan, it's a feeling. And feelings do change with time. People will change, plan will change, you will change. But what will remain constant is the journey of life. And this journey will continue along till your last breath. So Toastmasters, with all the love and everlasting passion within, I am still standing, more motivated and inspired towards life. Over to you, team.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pratik, for that wonderful lecture. Timer, can we have a minute on the clock? And audience, I insist you all to fill in the feedback form which is posted in the Zoom chat and provide a valuable feedback to Toastmaster Pratik.
Time is over.
Coach, so you see, seeing problems in a different perspective and all is fine, but I have a main problem that I have too much stress and I just don't know what to do with it. You know, like if I wanted to do something, I'll just procrastinate and let's just not do it because of the insane amount of stress.
Really? How much stress do you have?
Never mind. I just can't even calculate it. I'm freaking out just thinking about it.
Oh. Can I borrow your water bottle for a second?
Sure.
Thank you. Now tell me, how heavy is this water bottle I'm holding?
I mean, you're holding it. You tell me.
All right. See, the absolute weight of the water bottle doesn't matter. It all depends on how long I hold it. If I hold it for a minute or two, it's fairly light. If I hold it for an hour straight, it might make my arm ache a little. If I hold it for a whole day, then my arm will likely feel numb, forcing me to drop the water bottle. In each case, the weight of the water bottle doesn't matter, but the longer I hold it, the heavier it feels to me.
Okay, coach, but how does it relate with my stress?
Exactly my point. Your stresses in life are very much like this water bottle. Think about them for a while, nothing happens. Think about them a bit longer, and you begin to ache a little. Think about them all day long, and you will feel completely numb, incapable of doing anything else until you drop them. Maybe that's why you procrastinate, because you feel stressed all the time.
Wow, I never thought about it that way.
Anyways, it's time for the next lecture. Would you like to read the notice board and for me and see who the next speaker is?
Okay, it's Toastmaster Bharat. Let's go see him. What are we waiting for?
No. Before, we'll have to meet with the HOD of his department, calling upon Toastmaster Shweta, Toastmaster Bharat's evaluator. Over to you, Toastmaster Shweta.
Am I audible and visible? Good evening, students. I'm Shweta, the HOD of the most valuable life course. Hilarious ways to increase your humor quotient and get the audience laughing just to realize they weren't really laughing at the joke, but they were laughing at you. But that still makes you funny, right? So your instructor for today is our very own textrovert who loves eating and always wishes to be a part of someone else's improvement. Sounds like a perfect instructor, right? Presenting to you Toastmaster Bharat. Today, Toastmaster Bharat will be delivering his first speech of Project 2, which is Know Your Sense of Humor in the Pathway Engaging Humor. The objectives of his speech are to begin developing a collection of humorous stories and to present a speech that includes humor. And since he's the only instructor under my department, I'm going to be super nice with him today. I'll be looking out for general parameters such as clarity, audience awareness, vocal variety, eye contact, and humor. I wish you all the very best for your speech, Toastmaster Bharat. Over to the TMODs.
Toastmaster Bharat, can we do a quick audio and a video check?
Yeah.
Can the host spotlight the speaker? Yes. Yes, you are.
Wait, let me
All right.
check. Let me do a nervous check.
All right. Ready?
Yeah.
Toastmaster Bharat, the different me. The different me, Toastmaster Bharat.
Yeah. Have you ever feel afraid of meeting new people? Or have you ever been sad for not meeting new people? Well, I think you people might have confused with this question. Let me ask it in a clear way. How many of you right here are introvert and extrovert? Introverts, raise your left hand, and extroverts, raise your right hand. Just do it right. Yeah, cool. Thank you for the response. Put your hands down. Well, now, this Toastmaster Bharat is neither an introvert nor an extrovert. is completely different from all of you. Yes, because of this strange character, people started criticizing me, laughing at me, and they even scold me. Yes, at some point of my life, I felt really bad of being myself. And I even thought one day, what kind of creator you are? Yes. And one fine day, I was simply scrolling my Instagram pages. I found myself. Yes. And inside my mind, I was like, yeah, we got it. Yes. So this Toastmaster Bharat is neither an introvert nor an extrovert, but he's a extrovert. Yes. So this speech is going to be about the life of a extrovert. So the extrovert. So extroverts are the people who are very funny and expressive in texting, but shy in person. Yes, I'm the kind of person, and being an extrovert is not so easy. Yes, we are not born with a silver spoon, and I had struggled a lot in my life of being a extrovert. Yes, because texting people is not so easy as you guys think like. When you're texting a person, you have to do three checks. Yes, the first check is that you have to check for the current mood of the person. And secondly, you have to check for the right time of texting. And thirdly, you have to check for the consequences that you're going to face by texting that person. So you should text the person at the perfect mood because so that only he will listen to your speech. And it also should be at the right time. And most importantly, you should also be prepared for the consequences by texting that message. For the particular message, you will be getting rewarded or you may be fired. Yeah. So I believe, hope you guys understand how hard it is to be a extrovert. And do you guys know that I have been maintaining over 600 WhatsApp contacts in my mobile phone and over 4,592 Facebook friends. Yes. And my friend Dilip was like, hey Machan, whoever I have given a friend request, you are being the mutual friend of mine. He's always crying like that. And I was like, oh yeah. And inside my mind, I was like, yes, because that was a proud moment for every extrovert. And that's the life of a extrovert. And some people even call this extrovert a boy play. Sorry. I think it's playboy. See, I didn't even know the perfect word. That's how good the extroverts are. So the fact is, people are so jealous of a extrovert because we are really, really focused towards our work. For example, when I'm walking on the road, I always used to put my hands on my friend's shoulder and I would keep on responding to my customers' messages because customer satisfaction is very important to us. And it is not only happen when I'm walking, but also while I'm eating the food, brushing the teeth, and even when I'm sitting. Yes. So guys, the life of an extrovert is not so easy. And do you guys know a research found that 90% of the extroverts are single and not committed. Yes, I'm single. And even if you ask me what is the mobile phone ringtone of mine, it's in yeah. And guys, at some point of my life, I felt really depressed. Yes, this will happen to every extrovert's life. And during the time, there are some people who inspired me. So they are the people who are around me. For example, if you take Toastmaster Saumini, she can give you a message without any grammar error. So this is the kind of thing that you can learn from a extrovert or by a extrovert. And even if you take Toastmaster Anandan, so this person is one of the experienced person in our club who can send you the knowledgeable messages in our group, and most importantly, at the bottom of the message, he will put a stamp, Toastmaster Anandan. And these are one of the special qualities of texting people. And even if you take my evaluator, Toastmaster Shweta, so she is one of the most impressive person who can send you different emojis that can make you give quick reply to her messages. So these are all the inspirations that I had to in my extrovert journey. So guys, I would like to say that it's okay. So I would like to say that it's all the journey of life. It doesn't matter whether you're an introvert, extrovert, or a extrovert. To the many introverts out here, I would like to say introverts are the people who achieved a lot in their life. For example, if you take Albert Einstein, the great scientist who found the theory of relativity, is an introvert. And if you take Sir Isaac Newton, who found the apple, who found the gravity, he's an introvert. And even if you take Bill Gates, who is the founder of Microsoft, is an introvert. And even if you take Abraham Lincoln, Barack Obama, they're all introverts. And most importantly, if you take Elon Musk, he's also an introvert. So the thing that I would like to share is that it is not important whether who you are, but what you can. Yes. So finally, I hope I have taken you all to the journey of extrovert. And this is Toastmaster Bharat, a extrovert, signing off from you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Bharat, for that wonderful speech. Timer, let's have a minute on the clock so that we fill in the feedback forms, which is posted right now in the Zoom chat, and give our valuable feedback to Toastmaster Bharat.
Yes, time is over.
Before moving on to the next segment, I would like to call upon the VPM of the day, Toastmaster Anandan Ramachandran from VTC.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, sir.
And a warm welcome to all the guests who are all taking the time to participate in this beautiful, wonderful session. I hope you all are going to really enjoy the session and have a good time. And we humbly request you to share your viewpoint regarding the club's standard and activities and how you enjoyed the show. And, yes. Pardon me. Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
You're audible, sir. You're audible.
Yes. But I'm just a little bit out of focus to what am I supposed to do now?
No worries, sir. We'll take over.
Yes, sir.
So the guests who have come for the session, we request you all to fill in the feedback form which is posted in the Zoom chat. Yes. Timer, can we have a minute so that the guests can please fill in the feedback form and give their opinions and suggestions about our clubs and the session to be continued.
Yes.
Yes, time is over.
All right. Thank you, Toastmaster Anand Kumar. By the way, Harish, how's your stand-up comedy coming along? You said you were passionate about it.
Yeah, I was passionate about it. Well, I have other important things to do. You can follow passion later in your life too.
Important things like?
Important things like, graduating from college, landing your dream job, marrying a girl of your dreams. All these things are my priorities, and I have my whole life ahead of me. So I can follow my passion even after all these things.
It's funny. The things you're calling silly right now are, really the most important things in life.
No. See, like, I'm not saying that following your passion is silly, but fame, money, and power, all these things are important. Personally, what I feel is, what would you get making a bunch of people laugh at your jokes?
Okay. For a moment, let's imagine you only had a day to live. What will you want? On one side, you have lucrative job, awards, rewards, name, fame, money. And at the other side, you have simple pleasures of life for which you have no time. Silly things like, getting drenched in rain or dancing with your friends. Silly things like going out on terrace and singing above your voice with not a care in the world what others will think of it. It's true, you don't have name, fame, or money in these things, but this is where we really belonged as children. Somewhere along the way, we forget it. We start chasing important things without realizing that it were always the simplest pleasures in life that were the most important things.
Okay, coach, I see where you're coming from. Important pleasures. So you mean to say that I have to watch Netflix right before my exam, go out on the terrace and play with my friends, and do all these different things right before my exam so that I can enjoy it even more? These are the most pleasurable moments in my life. You know what? I should do it. I will do it.
What? That's what you made out of all this?
Haha. I'm kidding. I'm not serious. I'm kidding.
Great joke. Your jokes are getting better. On that note, let's go on to our next lecture by Toastmaster Aditya. Heard his sessions are really fun-filled.
I can't wait to attend. You see how my excitement, I even said before you finished, calling upon is evaluator for the day, Toastmaster Pranav.
What can I say? What can I say about Toastmaster Aditya? He's someone who our students absolutely love. The friendly banter, the inquisitive teaching methods, the way he teaches concepts in apple pie order. All these qualities establish Toastmaster Aditya as an experienced professor. Even though I'm impressed by his work, there's a wee bit of danger that he might take my job. It's okay. However, as a colleague and the head of the department, I have a few expectations from Toastmaster Aditya. Today, he will be giving his level 3 project 3 speech of the path motivational strategies. That is, understanding emotional intelligence. His objective for this speech is to share some of the aspects of his experience journaling emotions. This can include being aware of emotions when interacting with others. The few other objectives that I'll be looking at, and those are hand gestures, voice modulation, speech structure, vocal clarity, and etc. I wish you all the very best, Toastmaster Aditya, and I hope you don't take my job, but do a very good job over there. Over to you, TM Harish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. Toastmaster Aditya, can we have audio and video check before?
Yeah, am I clearly visible and audible?
You are audible, but I don't think you're visible.
Is my video now?
Got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
1 second, just 1 second. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Toastmaster Aditya, what would you do? What would you do, Toastmaster Aditya?
Picture this. You've just given an interview for a job you strongly believe you deserve. A few days later, you receive an email that says, unfortunately, you didn't get the job. How would you react? Hold that thought. We'll revisit this scenario in some time. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. My name is Aditya Shankar, and in the next 5 to 7 minutes, I am going to talk to you about the impact emotions have on the relationships we maintain. Now, before we get into that, with a quick show of hands, I want all of you to tell me how many of you refer to the Toastmasters Basecamp website before scripting your speech. Okay, almost all of you. Nice. But how many of you actually perform the tasks that they assign you to do? You know, like the quizzes and all of those. Well, quite a few hands have gone down. That's all right. Even I was like that until very recently. For this particular project, Toastmasters required me to maintain a journal for 2 weeks and keep a track of my emotions. These emotions should be associated with different events that took place in my life for the period of those 2 weeks. Now, contrary to popular belief, I actually managed to update this journal regularly for a good 12 days. The first week was relatively easy. This is because, as most of you know, I am a very calm and composed individual. It takes a lot of effort to crawl under my skin and bring out an emotional response. So there was not much to note down. Or so I thought. As the days passed, I started noting down the minute details in the ways in which I react or respond to the people around me. To my surprise, I noticed that I actually get agitated at the slightest inconvenience. It's just that I don't react with an outburst every single time. It slowly dawned on me that all this while I have been piling up my emotions and keeping them locked up somewhere deep inside. After hitting this realization, the second week became a tad bit more difficult. I was now conscious of the fact that these emotions could burst out anytime and could be directed towards the wrong person. And that's exactly what happened. I've been living at my grandparents' place along with my 10-year-old cousin for the past few weeks. Every evening, the moment my class ends, my cousin buzzes into my room and asks me to play with him. Usually, regardless of how tired I am, I comply to his requests. But one day, I was extremely tired and I told him that I will not be playing with you today. Believe it or not, the kid actually threw a huge tantrum. Frustrated and fatigued, I lost control of all my emotions and I yelled at the kid. Yeah, I know, losing myself because a 10-year-old asked me to play football with him. It's kind of childish. But at that moment, I had no control over the emotion that I was portraying. All the emotion that I kept bottled up had burst out and towards the wrong person. Luckily, he was only 10 years old and he decided to forgive me the very next day. But this got me thinking, what if I had burst out at an older family member or friend? An adult who doesn't just let things go the next morning. My entire relationship with that said individual could have potentially been in jeopardy, all because the emotions I bottled up decided to burst out. Forming a bond with an individual requires time and effort from both sides. It's not something you can simply forsake because your emotions at the moment got the better of you. Don't get me wrong, this doesn't mean that you should never let your emotions loose. If you always keep it bottled in like how I did, it'll burst out at the most unexpected time in the worst way possible. Confused? You might be thinking, you can't keep it bottled in, you can't let it out. So what is it that you can do? I had the very same doubt So I decided to ask Google. Surprisingly, all I could find were hyperlinks asking me to book a therapist appointment. Because Google couldn't give me a definite answer, I sat and I thought to myself. I thought and I thought and I thought until I realized that the reason Google couldn't give me a definite answer is because the way people deal with emotions differs from individual to individual. Emotions are a sensitive topic, and the way people deal with it is unique to themselves. For example, the way I deal with it is absolutely wrong. And this particular project helped me realize that. Even though on the outside I seemed calm and composed, on the inside, I was a huge mess. So this is what I'm going to tell all of you. When you are faced with a situation, try and analyze the situation in more ways than one. And based upon the analysis, decide whether you need to pour your emotions out or if you can make a decision without letting your emotions get in the way. Now that we've established that, let's revisit the scenario from the beginning. Most of my speeches have a very conclusive ending. But this one, I'm leaving it open-ended. So Toastmasters, if you lost a job opportunity that you strongly believe you deserved, how would you react? What would you do? Over to you, TM Harish.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aditya, for that wonderful speech. I request everybody to fill in the feedback forms which have been posted in the Zoom chat right now. Let's take a minute to fill in the feedback. Give our valuable feedback, Toastmaster Aditya.
Yes, time is over.
All right. Before we move on to the next segment, let me call upon Toastmaster Harsha from Climber.
Am I audible?
Yes, Harsha, you are audible.
Can you
Three
start
students,
Toastmaster Sipkan?
yeah,
Yeah.
3 students are studying history together, and it is the year 2354.
Dude, history can't be any more boring. I mean, there's nothing interesting. It's just policies of some people called presidents and prime ministers. And
I know, right?
there's even fashion involved.
I know, right? I mean, I have looked through this whole PDF and I can't see anything useful or anything worth studying. And we have a 5 credit exam on this boring topic.
Guys, look what I found. Apparently 333 years ago, the world was rampant with sins, and someone called the Almighty was wrathful and came to destroy the... I can't read anything after this. The page ends here. This was from a scanned copy of some ancient book called Climacia.
Wait, I got something. Apparently, this coming Sunday, there's going to be an event on what happened 333 years ago. The descendants of the original authors of Climacia are conducting it. And guys, it seems as if the author was the Almighty itself.
Now, this is interesting history. You know what? Let's all go to this event. It's on 11th of April at 4 p.m. and they've mentioned a dress code. We have to wear something gold and yellow or at least grey. Otherwise, we won't be let in.
It's final then. We have plans for a Sunday. You guys should also come and know the truth about what happened 333 years ago.
Exactly. They are right. This Sunday, Clima is celebrating their 333rd session, the milestone session. The last time Clima had such a grand 300 milestone with so many guests, VIT shut down. But who knows, maybe after this 333rd session, we get the news of college finally reopening. So do join us at 3 p.m. for an amazing time filled with mind-blowing speeches and talented role players. Thank you.
Thank you, Clima. We're gonna be there. Best wishes for your milestone session. See you around. You know what, Harish? I'm gonna go and get some coffee. Till then, I want you to interact with some new people around here. I'll see you in some time.
All right, coach. Okay, guys. So we have a special activity today, and the activity's name is Excuse Me. And what this activity you need to do is that we'll be giving you a scenario, a short, simple scenario of what might be the excuse you might have to come up with. And yeah, you have to basically say, excuse me, so and so, and you have to give me and give that person the excuse. So can I have any volunteers? And please, excuses will be entertained, but only after coming up on stage. So please do volunteer. Who do I have? You can raise your hand with the raise hand option or type your name in the chat box. All right, Samhit. Great to have you. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah, can you say something, dude?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right. So I have a scenario for you. So your aunt wants you to help her clean the attic. You know, it's very dirty and it's, you know, I don't know what to tell you. You really want to spend your Saturday doing something else, but your aunt asks you to do this. What would be the excuse? She's a very near and dear aunt. You can't say no. She helps you all the time. And that's about it. So go ahead.
Auntie, I lost my specs somewhere. I can't. Can I do this later, please?
I think she might buy into it. I think she might buy it. Thank you, Toastmaster Samvit. That was a rather believable excuse which you made there. And by the way, what is your the power of your spec so that she believes this?
Almost 4 or 5.
She might believe it. Great. Can we have another volunteer, please? Please raise your hand. Vijay, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Harish.
Vijay, can I see you? Yes, I can. All right, Vijay, I have, let me take you back to your childhood days, all right? And here's a scenario, right? You don't have your homework again, your younger sibling might have taken it, or dog eats it, let's say, and the teacher will not believe the same old story. What would be the new excuse which you would give to the teacher?
Ma'am, I'd really done my homework. But you know what? I need to put my life in apple pie order to find my homework. Where did I keep it? Bye-bye. Off to TM Harish.
That might be the most grammatically correct and the best possible excuse you could come up with. Thank you so much, Vijay. And the last was Anandan sir. Can we have you on screen?
Yes, sir.
All right. So this is the excuse which most teenagers deal with. but I'm going to give it to you because, hey, you were also once a teenager. So here it goes. You were at a party with your friends and your mother told you to call her at 11 p.m. and let her know that you were okay. But you failed to do so, and now your mom is very worried. Explain yourself. What would be the excuse?
Mom, I really remembered your words. You asked me to call me at 11. It was just ringing in my mind. But unfortunately, my phone got hanged up, Mom. I tried and tried. I'm really sorry, Mom. You know I love you and I always respect you, Mom. I tried. Okay, you can always say, why don't you ask your friends? But unfortunately, I tried with my friends also. I think something wrong has happened in your phone, Mom. You always know that I'm a good boy. I know how to take care of myself, Mom. I'm really sorry. I see to that it never happens again. Thank you, Mom. Sorry, Mom.
That was wonderful. I'm telling you, sir, that you would fit into this generation of teenagers just correct. You would be a great fit here at VIT. So thank you so much for coming on screen.
Thank you for making me a youth for a few minutes.
Thank you, sir. Yeah, thank you, sir. So that's excuse me and excuse me for now. I'll be back at the end.
Harish.
Life coach.
I prefer to be called Rithik,
Okay, life coach. Okay, so what's in the bag now? What are we doing? Where are we going? What's the next lecture? Tell me.
We have a surprise for you. There is a guest lecture. Excited?
No, honestly, because I've been listening to lectures all day, and I just want to interact now with the
this is not any kind of lecture. This is interaction. This would be a perfect interaction for you. Calling upon the Table Topics Master of the Day, Toastmaster Summit.
Am I audible? Good evening, Toastmasters. And let me introduce myself. I'm Toastmaster Summit, and I will be the guest lecturer for this. Oh, sorry, it's just a blank screen. My bad. For this Life Institute. Let me tell you, I have a very interactive session today. And guess what it's called? It's called Table Topics. Let me give you some rules for the table topics. All you have to do is raise your hand and I give you a topic. You have to speak for a maximum of 2 minutes. And there'll be a timer card which will be telling you the time passed. For 1 minute, there'll be a green card. For 1.5, there'll be a yellow. And for 2 minutes, a red card. After 2 minutes, you won't be prompted any card. Can I see any volunteers for the table topics? Anandan sir, would you like to go?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Toastmaster Anandan. Happiness is not so much in having or sharing. Toastmaster Anand, happiness is not so much having or sharing.
Excuse me, you're not audibly clear, please.
Okay. Am I now audible?
Yes.
Okay. I'll repeat the topic. Toastmaster Anand. About sharing or caring. Happiness is not about sharing or caring. Toastmaster Anand.
Life is actually filled with joy, happiness, sorrow, problems, stress, tension, and everything. It's not only for me, it's not only for anybody, it's for the whole world, all the humans. But it is how you take it up in your life. Some take it cool, some take it in a warm manner, and some struggle, and some cry, and some laugh, and people take it in different manners. As far as myself is concerned, I always see to it that I put a ring around myself and see that horror, tension, tortures don't come and touch me. Joy, happiness is inside me. So the purpose of life is also to live happily. God made everybody to live happily. Then why should we? But unfortunately, circumstances make things happen, which will really test your emotions, your knowledge, your skill, your talent, and things like that. So it's left up to us how to deal with it. So basically, every human being has to learn the art of living. What is the art of living? The art of living is that it's not that you always come across joy and happiness. Whenever you come across a problem, don't get worried, don't get funked out or something like that. Just try, okay, this is a problem, it has to be solved. How to solve it? Try to solve it by using your own knowledge and brain. If not, try to take your help from guidance from your friend, your parents, your well-wisher or anything. And it will be solved. And one more secret of life is nothing is permanent. Nothing will stay there with you forever in your life. Everything moves on and on. Joy moves away. Sorrow moves away. Tension moves away. What you have to go do in your life is you just have to keep on moving in your life. So whatever comes, the good, observe it. The bad, just kick it out and try to do it a little bit hard and fast so that it doesn't come back to you. So joy, happiness, and sorrow is inside you. It's your talent and skill. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
That was a very beautiful and inspiring speaker. Our next table topic speaker will be Toastmaster Harsha. Could you do an audio video check?
Am I audible and visible clearly?
You're not visible. Host, could you spotlight Toastmaster Harsha?
Now, am I audible and visible clearly?
Yeah, you're audible and visible. Yes. Okay. You'll face many defeats in life, but never feel yourself defeated, Toastmaster Harsha. You'll feel very many defeats in life, but don't get ever defeated, Toastmaster Harsha.
Have any of you here ever failed in an exam? Be it your school exam, be it a class test, or consider this. Have you ever failed to submit a digital assignment on time? When you notice after 3 days that you didn't actually submit it and your VTOP shows it's not submitted and there's 0 marks out of 10. What did you do at that time? Did you just take it like that? Did you just sit simply that nothing can be done? No, right? We pestered our professors, we called them, we gave them excuses, saying that, sir, I had really done my assignment, I just forgot to upload it. Sir, I uploaded it, but it's not showing there. I've done the same too. I did an additional learning and forgot to upload it. My friend who did the same thing, she got an extra 10 marks. And I was left with a minus 10 marks. When life throws lemons, make lemonade and drink it. We'll be facing many such obstacles in life when there will be points you will not be able to get back up, when you might not have the hope to get up and move forward with what's going on. You will feel disheartened. You will feel defeated. You won't have the will to continue on. But we don't stop there, because as human beings, we persevere. We stay strong in the face of adversity. Our life might be a mess, or it might be an apple pie order, you don't know. But the thing is, in between all of that, we don't stop trying. We don't give up. You can be knocked down 10 times. You could have been punched 15 times, but get back after that. Stand straight and make sure you do what you're doing. Complete what you started to finish. Don't stop in between. Don't let life knock you down. Thank you, and over to the table topic master.
That was a very beautiful speech, Toastmaster. The next table topic speaker, Toastmaster Abel. Could you do an audio and video check?
Yeah, am I audible and visible?
Yes, you're audible and visible.
Yeah.
Okay. Don't take yesterday, take up too much of today. Toastmaster able. Don't take yesterday, take up too much of today. Toastmaster able.
Classes are done. Now what do I do? Well, let me just check what's on VTop, right? It's been ages since I've checked. Open VTop, invalid captcha, log in again, logged in, digital assignment. Well, guess what? I just missed 3 lab assignments yesterday. Oh wait, what? I missed 3 lab assignments, and that carries a total of 30 marks, which means I'm unfortunately going to fail in that subject. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. This was what happened exactly yesterday at 3:45, and today morning I just realized that I've lost 30 marks in my exam, and it did not just make me lose 30 marks, but I lost 30 minutes of my life crying over that. But then guess what? I thought to myself that I cannot spend and whine because I made a mistake yesterday. So I took the next 30 minutes today to realize what I should do. So what I did, I went up to my email and I mailed my HOD telling him that I genuinely did the 3 lab assignments, but I just had forgotten to submit them on time. I sent this, and 30 seconds right after I send that, I get a message back saying, it's okay. I reopened the link for you. Please upload it now. And that's when I understood. And dear Toastmasters, this is the take back that I want to give it to you. That instead of whining, instead of wasting that 30 minutes of life, you can take 30 minutes to analyze and find a solution to your problem. Over to the TTM.
That was a very good table topic, Toastmaster able. Could I get any more participants? If you could please volunteer by using the raise hand option. Okay, Toastmaster Nathan, could you do your audio and video check?
Yes, give me a minute. Yes, am I audible and visible?
Yes, you are audible and visible. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. Toastmaster Nathan.
Toastmasters, have you ever tried adventure sports? Or will you consider trying adventure sports? Because when I see adventure sports, my heart starts pounding. And it's still pounding. And as a matter of fact, I can say that me giving a TT in a combined session is an adventure sport. So here's how it all began. It all started when I was a new inductee to Toastmasters and my VPA tells me, Nitin, why not give a TT in this session? My heart started pounding. I could not take it. But then I had the courage. I raised my hand. That was my very first TT. And then I did not feel 2 months pass, and then came the evaluation contest. I have never given an evaluation before, and I had to give an evaluation in a contest. Impromptu was just not my thing. I could not, but my president asked me to, and there I was. Months passed, I still did not want to give a TT. I was afraid. Will I screw up? Will others judge me for what I did? Will I be taken in the wrong way? But then came the table topics contest. Practice after practice. I got the courage to come out of my comfort zone and give a table topic. Time went on. And now I had the courage to go outside, go to other clubs and give my table topics. Toastmasters, today I stand here before you. I did not have the courage initially to raise my hand, but take a step out of your comfort zone. Experience it. Because life has a lot to offer to you. Because remember, every champion once was a contender in the beginning. TTM.
That was very relatable Toastmaster meeting. I think if most of us do clear table topics and the contest. Up next, could anyone from SOL volunteer? Any of the new inductees? Toastmaster Tanisha? Toastmaster Tanisha, you there? Okay, that concludes the Toastmaster table topic session for today. Thank you for all. Thank you all for the interactive session.
Wow, I love that interactive session, and it's really surprising, and I admire so much about how people can be so expressive and reflective about their experiences. It means a great deal.
Yes, I agree with you. I think self-reflection is the rare quality a human can have. Luckily, we have a team of individuals today who took their time, who took their energy just to evaluate this session on whole. Let's not take evaluations for granted today. Calling upon the general evaluator of the day, Toastmaster Shraddha. Over to you, Toastmaster Shraddha.
Thank you so much, TM Harish. Before we begin the evaluation segment, can I please request everyone to turn on their videos and give the same amount of support and encouragement to all the evaluators coming up today? First off, we have Toastmaster Darshini, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Pratik. Over to you.
Am I audible and visible? Yes. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guests. I would like to start off by congratulating Toastmaster Pratik on successfully completing his level 1 project 2. That was a beautiful speech. I would like to begin with the elements he really stood out. He gave his speech standing up with the camera properly positioned, which allowed us to have a complete view of his gesture, body language, and comfort level. His gestures were very engaging and helped in carrying the audience along with his story. He gave meaningful pauses throughout the speech, which helped the audience to connect with him. Clarity of the speech is very important. His speech, his voice modulation was perfect, except for the fact that there were a lot of fade outs in the ending of the sentences, which we couldn't understand. So I would suggest you to make the fade outs very minimal, because only then we would be able to understand the complete sentence, which also carries emotion. Another suggestion that I would like to give is that the speech was beautiful, but if it can have a proper structure, it would have a better reach. If the speech had an introduction, a body, and a conclusion, it would have been complete. His audience awareness was excellent. He kept the audience completely engaged throughout his speech. I cannot comment on his eye contact because he was a bit far from the camera for us to notice his eyes. But overall, Toastmaster Pratik gave a beautiful speech. And overall, to sum up, he had great body language, gestures, vocal variety, audience engagement, and comfort level. I would like him to improve on the clarity of his speech and also work on the fade out parts, because that is what makes your speech complete. Also, the structure of the speech matters. So I would also like you to work on the structure by giving it a proper introduction, body, and a conclusion. So that would be it. Thank you. All the best, Toastmaster Pratik. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Darshini. Moving on, I would like to call upon the second evaluator for today, Toastmaster Shweta, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Bharat. Over to you.
Am I audible and visible? Toastmaster Bharat, you know what? I promote you to the post of senior instructor after that beautiful speech. Right off the bat, you started off with a thought-provoking environment. When you asked extroverts, please raise your left hand, and introverts, please raise your right hand. Now, this bang-on start kept us all gelled to your speech. Number two is those tiny tidbits of humor that you added in between. For example, when you explained to us the way your friend said, Macha, you are mutual friends with all my friends. And then the way you said, boy play, sorry, playboy. Now what this did was it kept the audience engaged throughout those 5 minutes. Number three is something that every beautiful speech must have. That is an amazing structure. You started off with well-known terms that are introvert and extrovert, explained what they were, and then you brought to us this term of textrovert, and then you related it to how it is you in personal life. Now, what this did was it added more credibility to your speech. However, Toastmaster Bharat, if you were to be a HOD like me, there are a few things that you could work upon. Number one, I felt that throughout the speech, you had a fixed hand gesture. Now, I wouldn't say this was your hand gesture throughout the entire speech, but most of the time, I felt that this is the hand gesture that you maintained. Now, what this does is it gives the audience a feeling that you are restricting yourself somewhere. And I feel like the best way to tackle this is that sometimes you just have to let go of yourself and forget the fact that you're delivering a speech in front of a huge audience. Just understand the essence of it and do the best that you can. Number two is about the orientation of your device. Now, I felt like throughout the speech, as audience, it felt like you were looking down at us. And at some places, because of this, you weren't able to deliver your points the way that you intended to deliver it. Now, a general suggestion to this is that you can keep a book or anything else below your device and make sure that your camera is at eye level. Now, this will really, really help you deliver all your points the way you wanted them to be portrayed to the audience. So in a nutshell, Toastmaster Bharat, I liked the thought-provoking environment that you created, those tidbits of humor that you added in between your speech, and number three, the beautiful structure of your speech. However, a few things that I felt you could have worked upon are your fixed hand gestures and the orientation of your device. Once again, all the very best, Toastmaster Bharat, and congratulations on fulfilling your objectives of this speech. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shweta. And finally, calling upon the third evaluator for today, Toastmaster Pranav, who will be evaluating Toastmaster Aditya. Over to you.
Am I visible and audible? Okay. Toastmaster Aditya, you asked us, what do you do, right? I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll let you know what you did. You charmed the entire audience. The whole lecture was beautiful. And congratulations for completing your level 3. Now let me give you an insight on how you charmed these audiences. You made us feel. Let's start off with it. Now F, you fastened the audience with the imagination you started off with. You made us picture the start, and you put us in this driver's seat as if we're the ones living in the speech. I felt like it was me there. That hooked me. That hooked me throughout the entire start, and I wanted to know what was going ahead. Great start. Now coming to E, it was engagement. After the start, you asked us a question, and you asked us if we check our base camp, and you asked us if we actually complete the tasks there. This, although might be a serious question, it kind of hooked us to your speech because we had to answer. We had to listen to your questions. This, Toastmaster Aditya, is a very good form of engagement, starting with picturization and asking questions. Coming to E, the next E, it is elaboration. You told us that you maintained a journal for these emotions that you had a 2-week period for, right? This, you helped us understand and you elucidated it with a personal story. Now, this one personal story wasn't just a normal, typical story. It was you living in that story and looking at the different perspectives of it. Now, that helped us understand how emotional intelligence actually works. So kudos to that. Now, coming to L, you laced this entire speech by giving it an appropriate conclusion. Not a serious, strict sounding one, but where it makes us think, makes us understand what's going on. Gives me a minute to sit and understand, what do I do? Well, that Toastmasters was a brilliant conclusion. However, for your upcoming lectures, I have a few recommendations that you could actually use to get that 10 on 10. Well, firstly, you had amazing hand gestures, but what's the point if I cannot see them? They were being cut off by the table beneath you. So what you can do is stand up or go behind. Sorry, stand up or go behind and use these hand gestures. Secondly, you cannot, you should have not used as many pauses as you did in the beginning. Once you gave us this picturization and those questions, you gave unnecessary pauses. And I think that took away from your speech. Coming to summarize it, you had great picturization, great engagement, a good personal story lacing everything up with a question, but you could work on showing your hand gestures while doing them and give the appropriate number of pauses. Congratulations, Toastmaster Aditya, and I can't wait to listen to more of your speeches. Over to the G.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pranav. We shall now go ahead with the tag team reports. First off, calling upon our timer for today, Toastmaster Anant Kumar. Over to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
you're audible.
Yeah. Thank you, our director. Totally, I enjoyed these sessions very well. In these participants, speakers and evaluators, except Rithik, all speakers, evaluators and TT speakers are qualified. Toastmasters Pratik took 3 minutes 55 seconds, so he is disqualified. Thank you. Over to our Director General Evaluator.
All right. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Anant Kumar. To reiterate for the benefit of the ballot forms, we will be having ballots for evaluations and for table topic speakers. So in evaluations, Toastmaster Darshini, Toastmaster Shweta, and Toastmaster Pranav have qualified. And for the table topics, Toastmaster Anandan, Toastmaster Harsha, Toastmaster Abel, and Toastmaster Nitin have qualified. We will now move on to the R counter report. Can we have the R counter Toastmaster Surya, please? Over to you.
Thank you, G. Firstly, I would start off by congratulating Toastmaster Saumini, Toastmaster Aditya, Toastmaster Harsha for having 0 accounts. Toastmaster Pratik, Toastmaster Anandan, Toastmaster Samhit, Toastmaster Abel, Toastmaster Harish, Toastmaster Rithik, Toastmaster Darshini, Toastmaster Shweta, and Toastmaster Pranav have less than 5 accounts. And Toastmaster Bharat has less than 7 accounts. A small recommendation for Toastmaster Bharat is that most of your accounts was the word and. So instead of using and, you could just break the sentence instead of joining it by using and. Thank you. Over to the G.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Surya. And now I would like to call upon the grammarian, Toastmaster Saumini. Over to you.
Thank you, General Evaluator. First off, the word of the day was used by 3 Toastmasters, Toastmaster Pranav, Toastmaster Vijay Surana, and Toastmaster Harsha. Great job on that, all 3 of you. starting off with the prepared speeches, Toastmaster Pratik had a very good command over his language in his speech. Just as his evaluator Darshni said, if I were able to listen to the endings of his sentences, perhaps I could have able to get in some brilliant usage of the language that he used. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to hear them. Please, I'd like him to work on that. And Toastmaster Bharat used the phrase "born with a silver spoon," which means to be born rich. And Toastmaster Bharat and his evaluator used the word "textrovert," which was the title of his speech, which means which is actually an urban slang for a person who's very confident behind text. A synonym I would like to give for textrovert is a keyboard warrior, which I could relate to a lot. And then moving on, Toastmaster Aditya had a speech that was very, very crystal clear. And he used the phrase contrary to popular belief, which means opposite to what people usually believe in real life. He used the words tad bit, which means a little amount of something. He used the word jeopardy, which means to endanger somebody or put somebody in danger or our own selves. And he used the words get the better of us, which means something that has overpowered us. And moving to the evaluators, Toastmaster Dashni, congratulations, Toastmaster Dashni, on your first evaluation speech. That was very, very unambiguous, and we were able to understand every single point that you had emphasized. Then moving on, Toastmaster Shweta had the most beautiful evaluation that I had ever seen. And she called, she called Bharat a extrovert. And to sum up everything, which is usually what we say at the end of an evaluation report, she used a different phrase called in a nutshell. So moving on, Toastmaster Pranav, a big thumbs up for jumping in at the neck of the moment and taking up the evaluator's role and evaluating Toastmaster Aditya. He was notified just only after we had started the Zoom meeting. He used a lot of phrases and new words. Few of them were banter, which means playful and friendly exchange of teasing remarks. Inquisitive, which means curious. Fasten, which means locking us in. And elucidate, which means to explain. Coming to the table topics session, Toastmaster Samhit had very good table topics like happiness is not about sharing or caring. Don't take yesterday, take up too much of today. Life is not a problem to be solved, but an experience to be lived. Coming to the TT speakers, Toastmaster Anandan said a very popular phrase, that is popular saying, which is nothing is permanent. Toastmaster Harsha used another very popular saying, which was when life throws lemons at you, make lemonade out of it. And Toastmaster Nitin, I appreciate that you coming to a combined session of two different clubs and giving your TT speech that was stellar. He used the saying, every champion was once a contender. The meaning of contender is a person or a group competing with others to achieve something. Just an example would be all us Toastmasters. Coming to the TMODs of today, I couldn't find any grammatical mistakes in their script. Do very good job on that. Toastmaster Harish used the word abundance, which means to be in large amount, and what's in the bag, which means what's in store, what's in what people have in store to speak, what the contents. And both Toastmaster Harish and Rithik use one of my favorite words, which is self-reflection, which means to introspect on the things that we've done and reflect upon ourselves. Then Toastmaster Rithik used the word lucrative, which means producing a great deal of profit. And there are a few recommendations and errors in the English language that I'd like to say. I'd like to give a generalized report, not pointing out any Toastmaster or singling out anybody. So the first one was, whenever we use the word such, we all know that it's a word that whenever we use it, it has to be followed by a plural verb or noun. In this case, it was not such. The usage in one of the speeches was such capability. Instead, it should have been such capabilities. Okay, so then there was one usage which we usually use to translate from the regional language that we speak. So it was so that only. So which is a general word-to-word translation of our own mother tongues or anything. But in the English substitute of so that only is that is why. That you could use that is why in place of so that only. And whenever you use the phrase, this is one of the very, very common mistakes that everybody does, is whenever we use the phrase one of the, we are again supposed to, the noun that follows should be a plural. Here it was one of the person, which we always used to make a very common mistake. Instead, it should have been one of the persons. Because I know the word one is very confusing for us to use the person in singular, but we are actually mentioning one among the plenty of people. So the persons, the noun has to be in plural form. So, and I thought Elon Musk's name could have been pronounced properly as Elon Musk instead of Elon Musk. And there was another, this is another very common mistake that we make, is the pronunciation of the word the. So there are two pronunciations for the word the. They are the and the. When do we use the? We use the when the word followed by the is starting with a vowel and starting with a vowel. For example, the orange tree, the apple. We use the pronunciation of the when the words that follows the starts with a consonant, which is the milkman and the recipe. So that is it for my report for today. I hope everybody works on these suggestions that I've come up with. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Somini. The ballot form for today's session has been put up in the general chat. I request the members of SOL and VTC to fill it up. We can have 1 minute on the clock. Timer, let me know when 1 minute has elapsed. Okay, I'm hoping everyone has filled the form. I will start with my report now. Starting off with the TMOD's beautifully planned session and theme. I felt the theme was very, very unique, and both of you carried it out really, really well. There were props, there was humor, and I really liked that there was a proper scripted banter before each speaker, supported with proper life lessons, which really stood out to me. And I like the activity as well, well planned and well conducted. So great job to both of you. Moving on to the speaker evaluator pairs. The first evaluator was Toastmaster Darshini, who evaluated Toastmaster Pratik. So Toastmaster Darshini had properly pointed out why each positive was important during her evaluation. She used the sandwich method of evaluation, where she had few positives, a set of recommendations, and then a few more positives at the end. I really liked the recommendation of words fading out towards the end of a sentence. I felt it was very unique and keen observation to make. So great work on that. I just have two recommendations for you. The first is that you explained why each recommendation was important, but I thought you could have picked out words or examples from the speaker's speech as to where he used them, so that the audience and the speaker could specifically understand what you were pointing out to. And the second recommendation I have for you is that in evaluations, we tend to avoid using the word but specifically, because when you say but after a sentence, it sort of negates everything you have said before. So instead, try using however or completing the sentence and then starting another sentence with your recommendations. Other than that, it was a very, very technical and proper eval. She summarized as well. And as Toastmaster Saumini said, this is your first eval and it was one of the best evals I have seen. So great work. And the first speaker, Toastmaster Pratik, all the points were mentioned by Toastmaster Darshini, and I would also like to appreciate him again for standing up and delivering his speech. So great job on that. Moving on to the second evaluator speaker pair, Toastmaster Shweta, who evaluated Toastmaster Bharat. Again, Toastmaster Shweta properly gave examples from speech from the speaker's speech for the positive she was pointing out, and she used the what, why, how rule while explaining her recommendations so that they were properly sort of understandable to all the speakers and the audience today. And she had proper recommendations and she summarized. One tiny recommendation I have for you is try using the third person, first person rule, which is that when you give your positives, you give them in third person so that everyone in the audience can learn from them. But when you give recommendations, since they are specific to the speaker, you give them in first person. Yes, that's it. Great eval. And the second speaker, Toastmaster Bharat, again, I would like to appreciate him for standing up for his speech and also congratulate him on beginning his level 2 of pathways. So congratulations on that. Moving on, the third speaker evaluator pair, Toastmaster Pranav, who evaluated Toastmaster Aditya. Toastmaster Pranav, I really liked how he made the use of an acronym FEEL, which was very related to the objectives of his speaker and stood out. He properly pointed out the positives and he physically showed how the recommendation would help his speaker, which was also really great. Two recommendations I have for you is, again, try using the third person, first person rule while giving your evaluation. And I felt you over-explained the positives and then had to rush while giving the recommendations. So if you feel like, since you had 4 positives today to fit your acronym, try to keep them concise so that you have enough time to point out and explain your recommendations as well. Other than that, great evaluation. And I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Aditya on completing level 3 of his pathways as well. So congratulations on that. Moving on to the table topic segment. The TTM for today had Toastmaster Samhit had a great intro. He gave tips and he explained how table topics work and what the time duration was as well. And the topics were sufficiently related to the session and complex as well. One small recommendation I have for Toastmaster Samhit is try using the appropriate format while giving the topic, which is name, topic, topic, name, so that the speaker can hear the topic clearly. Other than that, great job. Moving on to the table topic speakers. The first speaker was Toastmaster Anandan, whose topic was happiness is not about sharing or caring. I liked how Toastmaster Anandan started right off the bat and gave like a sort of quote to lay down the foundation of his table topic. He had a sort of personal touch to his table topic when he said, I draw a ring around myself. I really liked how he used the word art of living, and he had a proper take back value towards the end, which was keep on moving in life, whatever life throws at you. The only tiny recommendation I have is that try to, in the ending of your table topic, it's best to try to relate it directly to the topic given to you. So I felt like you started with the topic and then the rest of your table topic was sort of surface level about what happiness or sadness in life corresponds to. But it would have been nice if you could have specifically talked about how happiness is not about sharing and caring, and it is about so much more, and so is sadness. So this is how you can just keep on moving in life and not let that affect you. Other than that, great table topic and a great take back value. So great job on that. Moving on, Toastmaster Harsha, whose topic was you'll feel many defeats in life, but don't get defeated. Again, Toastmaster Harsha started right off the bat with a personal story. Her personal story was relatable since most of us are students here. And I really liked her use of the quote, when life throws lemons, make lemonades. Other than that, she had a great table topic, so great job. The third table topic speaker was Toastmaster Abel, whose topic was Don't Let Yesterday Take Up Too Much of Today. Toastmaster Abel again had humor in his table topic with words such as invalid captcha, which I feel all of us relate to. He had a personal story, and I liked how towards the end, he had a take back value as well. I just felt that in the middle, you were sort of repeating what you were saying. Sort of the same story was being repeated in different ways. So if you feel yourself, in a loop, try to, stop for a second and gather your thoughts and then continue so that you don't say the same thing again. Other than that, great table topic. And the last TT speaker was Toastmaster Nitin, whose topic was life is not a problem to be solved, but a reality to be experienced. First off, I would like to commend Toastmaster Nitin on standing up for his table topic and delivering it like a speech. I liked how he compared table topics to adventure sports, and his table topic was very neatly woven into a story, which I specifically liked. He had hand gestures, which connected to and he connected his topic to experiencing life by comparing it to stepping out of the comfort zone, which I felt was a very smart connection to make. So that was a great table topic. Good job, Toastmaster Nitin. I'll now move on to my tag team. Our timer for today, Toastmaster Anand Kumar, had a great, enthusiastic and theme-related introduction, and his report was very concise. There were a few tiny hiccups in the sharing of the screen, but that was also easily rectified when he used his phone to share the screen. So great job, timer. Moving on, the R counter for today, Toastmaster Surya. Again, she had a theme-related introduction and a proper, concise report with recommendations specific to the role player as well. So great job. And the grammarian, who had an amazing and engaging intro. I really like how she asked the audience to guess what the phrase of the day could be, which was very unique. And a detailed and concise report, which was very technical with proper recommendations as well. So great job to the tag team. Overall, I felt the session was quite a fun one and quite an enthusiastic one. I did feel that towards the middle, we were all a little low on enthusiasm and our videos were off, but I'm glad and I would like to thank everyone who stayed till the end of the session. So great job, everyone. Thank you for having me deliver the report. Over to the TMODs.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shraddha, for that deliberate evaluation reports. So, Harish, after all these great lectures, how do you feel now? Has it helped you in any way?
Yeah, definitely. When I asked you the question that would this be helpful? Sure, it definitely was. But you know what? I attend sessions like these, but still after like a week or so, I still end up feeling the same way.
Life isn't apple pie order, my friend. You see, this isn't any institute. You're not graded. You don't have any quizzes or assignments. We don't even prepare our students for any exams. We help them find those missing pieces of the puzzle, help them put it together. Life is this big jigsaw puzzle. At the end, you'll have to find your own answers. You are the student, you are the coach.
Wow. All right. I just realized something that was so profound that I feel so much better because you said that I'm the student, I'm the coach. So I came here to the institute as a student, and I'm leaving as both a student and a coach, which means that technically you did not do anything. So it means that I don't have to pay for anything. Yes.
I'll just take credit for one thing. Your jokes are much better now.
Definitely, I'll give you credit for that. Calling upon the presiding officer for the day.
Thank you so much, TMODs. Without any further ado, I would like to call upon the acting SA Toastmaster Afifa to announce the ballots. Give me a second to share my screen. Is it visible?
Yeah,
okay.
It's visible. The best evaluator is. Are you changing the slides?
Yes.
The best evaluator is the Toastmaster Shweta. Congratulations. The best table topic speaker is Toastmaster Nitin from Toronto. Congratulations.
And the best evaluator is the grammarian, Toastmaster Song. Sorry, the best role player. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Afifa. Before we end, I would like to thank the acting XCOM for today, Toastmaster Afifa, who was the acting SA, Toastmaster Aditi, who was the acting secretary, and Toastmaster Somani, who was the acting VPPR since she recorded the session. Thank you so much for being and helping out in the session today. Other than that, there are no other announcements. SOL's special session is coming up on the 15th of April, which is less than 10 days away. So I want everyone to sort of, buck up and start working towards the special sessions so that we can make it a grand affair. Other than that, I would like to thank every member of SOL, VTC, and the guests present here who stayed till the end. This was a long overdue combined session, and I'm glad we had this today, and I hope everyone enjoyed it as much as I did. So without any further ado, I would like to declare SOL 172 and VTC 76 closed. Over to the acting SA for closing comments.
Okay. Before my closing comments, in the starting, I gave a riddle. I don't know how many people thought about it, but still I will repeat my riddle. Okay. Everyone wants more of it to feel special, yet the more you have of it, the less special you feel.
More of it to feel special, but the more you have.
Can anyone, any guesses? Okay, the answer is knowledge. Everyone wants more of it to feel special, yet the more of the more you have of it, the less special you feel. It's knowledge. So, okay, well, all the good things come to an end, right? So, but I am very delighted. I was very delighted. I am very delighted to know each and everyone, as it is my first VTC session soon after my inductions. So I had fun, like really very engaging, fun session. Side by side, I learned how life is. I felt like life is simple, but we insist on making it complicated. So let's not complicate it. Then we will live our lives to the fullest. So everyone did a very good job. Congratulations to everyone. And over to the presiding officer.
Let's take a picture.